there's also a whole world of the unexplained beneath our feet. In this next story, something massive with huge claws seems to be tunneling through the earth. Take a look.
A surprising finding below the Earth's surface is reshaping our knowledge of ancient creatures. Scientists have uncovered mysterious tunnels believed to be created by ancient monsters. These mysterious passageways, believed to be created by ancient monsters have sparked significant interest within the scientific community. Join us as we explore the mysteries of the tunnels created by ancient monsters that has left the whole world in shock. The ancient tunnels of South America. Moving on to a massive tunnel in South America, which is at least 8,000 to 10,000 years old. Initially, researchers found huge and neatly constructed burrows that got geologists confused. These structures were unlike anything seen before, and their formation couldn't be explained by known geological processes. Initially believed to be archaeological constructions, it wasn't until the 1930s that researchers discovered claw marks, leading them to believe they were giant ground sloths and armadillos' burrows. The structure is the largest known burrow from the Paleolithic age in the Amazon, yet experts have many questions about its natural formation. Additionally, there are over 1,500 burrows from the Paleolithic age found in Brazil, and some are connected to tunnels that lead to chambers. But that's not all about mysterious tunnels. Back in November 1922, an important discovery was made in the desert mountains of Egypt.
Archaeologists have discovered a vast tunnel under an ancient Egyptian temple that may lead to Cleopatra's lost tomb.
A young explorer found ancient steps carved into a rock, leading to a new tomb. This discovery revealed about 5,000 ancient things like jewelry, fabrics, painted vases, and masks. Now, more than 100 years later, people are looking for Cleopatra's tomb, the last ruler of ancient Egypt. Dr. Kathleen Martinez, an archaeologist, has spent a lot of time studying records and temples around Alexandria.
We have uncovered so many important structures that prove this temple functioned as a temple during the time of Queen Cleopatra and the Greek pharaohs. So this could be the perfect place for Cleopatra's lost tomb.
She thinks Cleopatra's tomb is under the ancient city of Taposiris Magna, built in 280 BCE. Recent digs found a hidden tunnel near Alexandria, suggesting Cleopatra's burial might be inside, maybe with her friend Mark Antony.
It's an entrance. We can see an entrance.
Taposiris Magna might have been damaged by natural disasters over the years, making it hard to dig.
It's so exciting. I need to see what is in there. It has been hidden for 2,000 years.
But archaeologists think they can find cool things about ancient Egypt's royal life during Cleopatra's time. Digging might go underwater and into mud, needing a lot of time and money, but it's worth it for history. We can't say for sure if Cleopatra is in the tunnel, but finding things like pots, coins with Cleopatra, and a bust of her makes it likely. Cleopatra is a famous person in Egypt's history, and her story is in art and books.
When I study carefully the last days of Cleopatra, I realized it was the beginning of a religious act that might end up with her being buried in a temple, and her lost tomb could be found there.
Beyond her fame, Cleopatra was more than just beautiful. She was smart and a leader, making Egypt strong during a tough time. Old texts suggest she knew about chemistry, math, and philosophy, maybe even helping with science. Cleopatra knew many languages and was good at making friends with other countries, even though she was Greek. She understood Egyptian ways and did well in governing. Cleopatra was clever in many situations. To get Julius Caesar's support, she wrapped herself in a carpet.
Por el revés. Salve Cleopatra, pariente de Horus y Ra.
With Mark Antony, she made a big show on a golden boat, looking like Aphrodite, to show they were friends. But Cleopatra being close to Mark Antony caused problems in Rome. Octavian used this to say she was dangerous, and the conflict led to a big sea battle. Cleopatra and Antony ran to Egypt. There are stories about Cleopatra dying from snakes or poison, but we don't know the truth. After Cleopatra died, Octavian took her stuff and went back to Rome as the main leader. His win in the sea battle changed history, and he ruled well. Finding Cleopatra's tomb could show us a time that might have changed the world if things happened differently. In case you thought the surprises were over, get ready for a revelation that will leave you puzzled. The mysterious boiling river. In the heart of the Amazon rainforest, there's an ancient tale about a hot river that boils, capturing the imagination of those who hear it. Many thought it was just a made-up story passed down through generations. But then comes Andres Russo, a geoscientist from Peru, who decided to check if this river was real. In the science world, the idea of a hot river seemed unlikely. Usually, hot rivers are in places with volcanoes, but the legend pointed to an area without them. Still, Andres Russo didn't give up. He kept going, determined to find out the truth. In 2011, something big happened in the search for the mythical river. Against all expectations, Andres Russo found it. And guess what? The water was really hot, almost boiling at 186 degrees. What made it even more surprising was the river's size. Normally, you'd think hot water would be in a small pool, like a hot spring. But this river was different. It was a massive 20-foot deep river stretching almost 4 miles. In the huge network of Earth's rivers, this one stood out as a unique mystery, showing us there are still interesting things hidden in the unknown parts of our planet. Meanwhile, here's another shocking revelation that might just make your mind race. The hum that echoes worldwide. Imagine hearing a soft, low hum all the time, and no one can figure out where it's coming from. About 4% of the world's population experiences this mysterious hum, and it doesn't matter where you are on the map. People all over the world hear it. It goes by different names like Two's H or Auckland H, depending on where it's heard. This sound is right at the edge of what humans can hear, and it's less noticeable outdoors, but gets louder indoors, especially at night. What's unsettling is that once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Some say it may have started in London during Charles Dickens's time, linked to the low-frequency sound of humbug. However, the earliest documented cases go back to Bristol, UK, in the mid-1970s. Scientists have different theories about the hum's origin and why only certain people can hear it, but there's no clear answer. It might be caused by ocean waves shaking the Earth's crust, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, or even ultra-low-frequency radio signals used for submarine communication and 5G technology. There's also another mysterious sound called upsweep, discovered in 1991 in the Pacific Ocean. It's a high-pitched noise recorded throughout the ocean, possibly related to underwater volcanic activity. Interestingly, its volume has been decreasing since its discovery, but it's still detectable. This sound follows a seasonal pattern, peaking in volume during spring and fall. Whether it's connected to seasonal changes remains unknown. If that's not surprising enough, here is another shocking revelation: the ancient stone road and the lost city. Every year, particularly in October, a fascinating natural phenomenon occurs on the Mekong River in Thailand, the appearance of fireballs. According to legends, these fireballs, known as Naga fireballs, are believed to be a call for Buddha to return to Earth, with river serpents being credited as the creators of these luminous displays. While this is a myth, the scientific explanation for these fireballs remains uncertain. Some speculate about the involvement of flammable gases, but clear answers are yet to emerge. These fireballs emerge from the water, reaching heights of almost 990 feet, resembling rapidly disappearing fireworks and often glowing with a reddish or orange color. Now let's delve into some thrilling legends, such as the one about the lost city of Atlantis. The legend suggests that Atlantis submerged into the ocean around 11,000 years ago. Since then, not only scientists but also treasure hunters and philosophers have been on a quest to discover this lost world. One intriguing possibility arose in 1968 when a diver found peculiar stones off the coast of North Bimini Island in the Bahamas. These stones appeared human-made, evenly spaced, and laid out in an orderly row. Initially baffling scientists, carbon dating analysis later revealed that geological forces naturally created the road, with no tool marks or signs of intentional stacking. The research continues, but scientists generally lean towards the belief that erosion is responsible for the formation of these rocks. Let's explore a place that seems otherworldly: the hidden wonders of Moville Cave. Life inside the Moville Cave has been cut off from the outside world for around 5.5 million years, and it really shows. Due to this prolonged isolation, the conditions inside the cave are unlike anywhere else on Earth. Despite the severe lack of sunlight and toxic air, a unique ecosystem thrives there. Situated a few miles west of the Black Sea in Romania, the Moville Cave was initially discovered in 1986. Nowadays, visiting requires special permission, and narrow limestone tunnels and vertical shafts naturally guard the central caverns. If you're prone to claustrophobia, it might be best to avoid entering this place. In the cave's depth, the air has only half as much oxygen as outside, with elevated levels of carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide, not the freshest air to breathe. The cavern is pitch black, but surprisingly, or perhaps thanks to these extremely harsh conditions, it's a treasure trove for biologists. In a 1996 study, scientists found 48 species inside, with 33 of them being unique to the cave. Most of these creatures are tiny, with long limbs and antennae to help them navigate in the dark.
They lack vision and pigment, logical adaptations to life in total darkness, where being pretty and colorful serves no purpose when there's no one to see them. Now, let's venture into another remarkable cave that looks entirely different. Mexico's Giant Crystal Cave. Welcome to the Giant Crystal Cave, also known as the Cave of the Crystals in Mexico. These enormous crystals were discovered in 2000 by a mining company. Once the water was pumped out of the cave, 2 miners entered on foot and were surprised to find these awe-inspiring crystals. These massive gypsum pillars are concealed 984 feet underground, firmly attached to the cave walls and floor. Scientists believe these crystals might have been growing for around 500,000 years, explaining their impressive size. Some crystals are so large that you could walk across them. Unfortunately, visiting this natural wonder is currently impossible, and perhaps that's for the best. The Giant Crystal Cave can be perilous and easily turn into a trap. For thousands of years, it was filled with groundwater, pushed upward by a magma chamber deep within the earth. The magma kept the water hot, but over time, its temperature dropped below 136 degrees. Consequently, the water became filled with calcium and sulfate, leading to the formation of gypsum crystals. These white-tinted crystals took over the cave, continuing to grow as they remained submerged. Meanwhile, prepare for another round of shocking revelations. Underwater black holes. You don't need a spaceship for an interesting adventure. Just go into the southern Atlantic Ocean, where scientists found incredible ocean wonders like black holes. These ocean marvels pull things in so strongly that even light can't escape. These ocean mysteries are called ocean whirlpools, or eddies. They're huge whirlpools that go against the usual flow of the ocean. Picture whirlpools so big that they make cities look tiny, swirling billions of tons of water with a force that traps everything inside. The spooky part is, you might accidentally sail into one without knowing about the danger. Thanks to satellite help, scientists discovered the invisible borders of these ocean whirlpools, showing they're like the mysterious black holes in space. These massive whirlpools have tight boundaries, making closed loops where water moves with captivating grace. Once inside, nothing, not even water, can escape, turning these tight ocean whirlpools into huge containers. If you go deeper, you'll find that the water inside these swirling containers is different from its surroundings. It's not just about temperature. The salt content dances to its own beat, creating a unique underwater world. These ocean versions of black holes are mysterious places where the usual rules of the sea take an unexpected turn. So, the next time you look at the vast southern Atlantic, remember that beneath the surface, a watery, show-like cosmic marvel is waiting to be uncovered: the mysterious dancing forest on the Curonian Spit. On a narrow piece of land known as the Curonian Spit, separating the Baltic Sea from the Curonian Lagoon, there's a unique place called the Dancing Forest. The pine trees here have unusual shapes, twisting and turning instead of standing straight. Some locals think it's because of a clash of energies or the sandy soil making the trees wobble. Others believe the strong winds from the nearby water shape the trees into these wild formations. Experts haven't agreed on the exact reason, making the Dancing Forest a mysterious sight. Now, let's talk about the deep sea off southern Japan. Imagine finding underwater crop circles, not made by aliens but by a small sea creature. In 1995, divers discovered these 7-foot-wide structures, calling them mystery circles. For almost 16 years, people were puzzled until they uncovered the secret. The artist behind these circles is a male pufferfish. Yes, a fish. It takes over a week for the fish to create one of these underwater masterpieces. The fish swims inside the circle, using its fins to shape valleys in the sand. Surprisingly, the fish even has a sense of aesthetics, collecting shells and corals to decorate its creation. Why does the fish go through all this underwater artistry? It's not just for show. As the male fish glides through the water, it pushes sand to the center of the circle, creating a mound. This mound becomes a comfortable nest for future fish generations. But wait, there's our more shocking revelations coming your way. The hidden treasures below, Belize's azure waters. In the Caribbean near Belize, there's a fascinating place that puzzles scientists and adventurers. It's called the Great Blue Hole. This huge underwater hole is 1,000 feet wide and goes down more than 400 feet. A long time ago, it was a big cave. But as time passed, the cave collapsed because of rising water, creating the Great Blue Hole. When you dive into the clear waters of this deep blue wonder, a magical world appears. The deeper you go, the darker it gets, and you'll see caves adorned with hanging crystals. These crystal formations look like nature's art, frozen in time. But here's the thing. Exploring these caves is not easy. It's a dangerous journey, and you could easily get lost. At around 50 feet deep, something enchanting happens. The water starts to shimmer, showing an invisible line between the salty upper layer and the fresh, mysterious depth below. If you're an adventurous person, this is where you might feel cautious. Ever wonder why mountains are so quiet and calm? Well, get ready because these huge landforms are not just watching the world quietly. They have some shocking tricks. The untold musical stories of mountains. You see, mountains are not just rocks. They have their own special songs and dances. Mount Everest, the big boss of peaks, has a secret night music show that will shock you. When it gets dark in the Himalayas, a strange chorus echoes around Mount Everest. To figure out this musical mystery, a group of brave researchers, led by ice expert Ivan Podolsky, went into the freezing cold of the Nepalese Himalayas. In the daytime, the researchers admired Mount Everest's huge size and beauty. The weather was nice and they worked comfortably, but when night came, the temperature dropped a lot to a freezing 5 degrees, causing something interesting. The ice on the mountains started to break, making loud, booming sounds that echoed in the valley. Using fancy technology usually used for measuring earthquakes, the team put sensors on the glacier's surface, listening carefully to the vibrations it made. They also collected data on temperature and wind. The result? They found out the cause of this frozen concert, the sudden drop in temperature. The icy surface of the glacier, sensitive to these changes, cracked and split with loud noises. This discovery is not just a sound. It's an important piece for scientists studying glaciers and climate, especially in faraway places like the Himalayas. In a world dealing with the effects of climate change, understanding how glaciers act is really important. The research shows how quickly Himalayan glaciers are melting, which is a big problem for South Asia. Recent studies say these glaciers have melted 10 times faster in the past 40 years than in the previous 700 years. But the Himalayas aren't the only singers in the mountain group. Look at Mount Matterhorn, for example. Every object, including mountains, has its own beat. Objects shake at certain frequencies because of their shape and what they're made of. You might have seen this with tuning forks and wine glasses. Hit them just right, and they shake and make sounds. Mountains, it turns out, are not just quiet guards. They're the rock stars of their own unique concerts. Even mountains have their own rhythm. They vibrate in a unique way. Geoffrey Moore and his team of adventurous scientists were curious to know if mountains could dance to their own music, just like bridges and tall buildings. They hypothesized that the distinctive shapes of mountains might cause them to vibrate at specific frequencies, known as resonance. However, putting this idea to the test wasn't a walk in the park. Unlike buildings that engineers can intentionally shake or bridges that vehicles can drive over, mountains are massive and tough. Making them move on purpose is a challenge. Despite the difficulty, Moore and his team took on a significant project. They aimed to explore how the shaking of the earth affected the famous Matterhorn mountain. As if the surprises weren't enough, here's another shocking revelation that might just redefine your understanding. The swinging Matterhorn. Explore the border of Italy and Switzerland, and you'll find the Matterhorn, a tall mountain with a pyramid shape that reaches about 15,000 feet. This impressive mountain isn't just standing there quietly. It has a fascinating dance to share with the world. With sides facing north, south, east, and west, the Matterhorn is a special shape that captures the imagination. Scientists used helicopters to place small devices called seismometers strategically on the mountain. One sat at the top, using solar power and looking like a small coffee cup. Another was tucked under the floor of a mountain hut, and a third sat at the mountain's bottom. These little observers carefully recorded every move of the mountain and made a surprising discovery. Even though the Matterhorn's movements were tiny, the seismometers showed that it gently sways back and forth every 2 seconds. The interesting part? The top of the mountain moves up to 14 times more than the bottom during this rhythmic dance. This dance, similar to the way the Eiffel Tower sways in the wind, surprised scientists. Contrary to thinking the mountain moves because of the wind, it's actually seismic energy that's behind it. When earthquakes happen in different parts of the world, their energy travels through the earth, making mountains like the Matterhorn vibrate. Adding a celestial touch to this mountain dance, the oceans contribute vibrations known as microseisms as waves move across the ocean floor. Surprisingly, the frequency of these oceanic vibrations matches the Matterhorn's graceful sway. This research shows the interesting connection between earthquakes and steep mountains that are prone to landslides and avalanches, giving us a new understanding and appreciation for these majestic peaks. Mountains like the Matterhorn aren't just standing there. They're artists, swaying and vibrating to a mysterious melody deep within the earth. Do you know that mountains aren't just watching the world quietly? They actually help create the words we use. Let's learn more. How mountains shape unique sounds in language. Turns out, languages in high places have their own special sounds, making a unique way of talking. Language experts studied 567 languages and found something interesting. In 92 of them, there's a special sound called ejectives, like a strong K or C. These sounds are made by pushing air forcefully from the back of the throat, creating bursts of speech. Surprisingly, English or European languages don't usually have these sounds. But here's the interesting part. Some native languages in North America and the area between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea have these sounds. And guess what? Tibetan languages in the mountains don't use adjectives, leaving language experts puzzled. Why do these mountain languages have these special sounds? It's a bit of a mystery, and researchers have some ideas. One thought is that these sounds help people in the mountains avoid getting dry throats in the crisp air. Another idea is that the lower air pressure in high places makes it easier to make these unique sounds. But the mystery isn't completely solved. Some experts say that while where you live might affect your language, there are other reasons for languages being similar, like borrowing words from nearby languages or just being close together. Still, this research has revealed interesting things. Mountains don't just shape our land, they also leave their mark on how we talk. So, next time you're in the mountains, listen to the local language. You might hear sounds and words influenced by the mountains. It's like nature is sharing its secrets through the language of the people who live there. But did you ever stop to wonder about the secrets hidden within the depths of our planet? Well, let's find out together. Peeling back the layers of Earth's inner mysteries. Think of Earth like a giant onion in space, with many layers under its surface. The core of this planetary onion has two parts: the inner core, a very hot and dense center, and the outer core, a swirling sea of molten stuff. After this molten dance, there's the mantle, and finally the thin crust, the surface where life lives. But wait, there's more to this space onion than we knew. Scientists, using their imaginary onion peeler, found a new layer hidden deep in the solid inner core. This inner core, about 2/3 the size of the moon, is a mix of nickel and solid iron, with temperatures as hot as the sun's surface. The outer core, with temperatures nearly 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, is tough to explore. It's like trying to look through a really dirty window with 300 miles of molten metal and rocks blocking our view. But don't worry, science has tools. Lab experiments on heated rocks, signals from seismic waves, and computer models. When an earthquake shakes the Earth, it sends shock waves through the layers. These waves act like messengers, telling us secrets from below. In a study, scientists looked at data from 100,000 deep earthquakes, some going over 60 miles deep. As these seismic waves travel across the planet, they meet different stuff and change direction. It's like a space game of telephone, but with rocks and waves. The researchers found something interesting. Around 60 degrees to the side, the waves take a detour when passing through the inner core. This unexpected turn gave hints about a mysterious new layer in Earth's core. Understanding the core is important because it's the key to our magnetic field, the shield that protects us from space stuff like solar winds, charged particles coming from the sun. But that's not all. In the 1960s, scientists found something mind-blowing. Earth, our lovely home in space, has a regular beat, like a clock ticking every 26 seconds. It's like a big, rhythmic heartbeat that makes the ground shake a little. But don't worry, it's not the kind of shake that scares us. Most people don't even feel it. But clever scientists can still see this mysterious dance. One idea is that the ocean floor, called the continental shelf, is the key to this shaking. It's like a huge wave breaker underwater, where the highest part of North America goes down into the deep ocean. According to this idea, waves hitting this spot make regular beats, like drumming, and that causes a subtle shake all over our planet. Think of it like a giant drum set. When one spot is hit just right, it makes a sound that rumbles and shakes the earth. If this idea is true, we should be glad there aren't more spots that can shake the ground. But some scientists think the shaking might be because of a nearby volcano, adding an explosive twist to the mystery. Now, let's look at Saomi Island in Bonnie's Bight. As you walk, run, and jump, it might seem like you're not moving when you stop, but in the big dance of our planet, even when you feel still, you're actually moving. Earth is always spinning through space at more than 1,000 mph, with the fastest part being the equator. Imagine a basketball spinning on your finger. The equator of the ball, like a random point, covers more distance in one spin than any point near your finger. It's like a space dance where every part has a role, creating a lively and always changing show. Now, let's explore Earth's rock cycle, like a cosmic recycling program. The ground we walk on is made through this ongoing process. Magma, the hot stuff deep inside Earth, comes up and turns into rock. Forces like volcanoes, earthquakes, and mountains bring these rocks up, where erosion shapes them into rocks, like sandstone. These rocks, under lots of heat and pressure, can change into different rocks. It's a cycle where rocks come up, wear down, and change, guided by the ongoing forces shaping our planet's surface. Sometimes, parts of Earth's crust crash into each other, pushing rocks below, and magically, the rocks turn back into magma, starting the cycle again. Now, let's explore more mysteries about our planet. The complexities of our planet. The ocean is really big, and we don't know much about it. Only about 5% of its secrets are known. Under the water, there are hidden secrets, like life beneath the seafloor. Microorganisms live deep in the ocean's sediments, about 1.5 miles under the seafloor. They even live in volcanic rocks under the Pacific, protected by a lot of sediment. Life under the seafloor happens slowly, unlike the busy life on the surface. The cells divide very slowly, like every 10 to 1,000 years. There's a puzzle about the Earth's axis, affected by climate changes and melting glaciers, especially in places like the Himalayas and Alaska. The axis, which guides movement, changes subtly over time, and it's still not completely understood. Scientists found that moving water masses can affect the Earth's axis, pushing it eastward. Think of water sloshing in a basin. A similar thing happens on a big scale, influencing our home in space. Talking about earthquakes, even big ones like a magnitude 8.5 near the Kuril Islands in 2013 might not be felt on the other side of the Earth. But some brave people in Australia said they felt the ground shake. The strongest earthquake ever recorded was a magnitude 9.5 in Chile in 1960, causing a big rupture along the country's coast. However, earthquakes with a magnitude of 10 or more are thought to be impossible, because we haven't found faults long enough yet. A fault is a crack in the Earth's crust, where rocks move against each other, causing earthquakes. No fault long enough has been found to cause earthquakes with a magnitude of 10 or more. Thinking about an earthquake with a magnitude of 12 means we'd need a fault bigger than the Earth itself. A huge geological event that goes beyond what we currently know about earthquakes. Exploring the Earth's depths and mysteries reveals more and more complexity, making us surprised by how our planet works. One side of our Earth is becoming colder than the other side. The Earth has a special system that keeps it warm from the inside. Deep below the surface, there is a very hot liquid. The Earth spins and, at the same time, creates a magnetic field and gravity. This helps the Earth's core keep the atmosphere close to the surface. The sun gives heat to the Earth, mostly on the surface, but the heat doesn't spread evenly everywhere. One side of the Earth, the Pacific Hemisphere, is losing heat faster than the African Hemisphere. This is because land holds more heat than the surface under the ocean. The seafloor is thinner than the landmass. The temperature caused by the heat from inside the Earth is getting lower because of a lot of cold water above it. Clouds are not just fluffy cotton in the distance. They are heavy. They weigh more than 1 million elephants and help control our planet's temperature. If you take all the water droplets in clouds and bring them to the surface, they would cover the planet with a very thin layer like human hair. It might not seem like much, but this water is very important for the climate. Without clouds, we would have warmer temperatures. If you found value in this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more awesome content.